Greetings, Queen. Greetings, King. Welcome.
Greetings.
Positive energy to all.
Welcome to another show presented to you by MEN-talRollaDeK. The title is Here and Now, the present versus the future. Before we actually get into it, I want to say shout out to everybody that's been rocking and everybody that's flowing with us and everybody that's yet to come and participate and be a part of the show. And also, just want to take a few minutes out to say rest in power to Miss Rebecca Hopwood. Quick moments of silence. Okay, Grandma, I love you. Um, Hopefully, I'll see you in my dreams. Um, what's up? What's going on?
Okay, Queen. Must
I'm
be another
flowing.
weekend.
You flowing? Is it actually another weekend or it's an actual? Never mind. We're not gonna take it there.
Yeah.
Is it the weekend? Are we gonna take it there? Is it the weekend or the beginning? Which is it?
Well, it's the here and now, man. The here and now.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So how
So,
you
King,
feeling, Rich? What's the? Let's get right into it. So what is the difference between the here and now, the present versus the future? What's your ideology on that terminology? Double
I,
entendre.
terminology. I, I say the here and now is what's happening. I mean, what's happening now. Can I say this? Is you know what? I see it as everything. The now is everything. I mean, it contains all because right now, right now is the result of the past, and what we're doing now shapes the future. So right now is everything, but the right now never stands still. It's always moving, and so that's why it's very important what we're doing now because it shapes the future. The only thing dead is yesterday. But don't we keep like yesterday alive? See that's where we get dysfunctional. And we do the same thing with the future. In the now, it's a lot of people that keep the past alive. And they'd be like, well, there's some people that's like, oh, they don't deal with the past. They strong and they don't look back. But some of those same people they get caught up in the fear of the future. And it's the fear of the future and getting caught up in trying to control the future is just as bad as uh, trying to keep the past alive. But the right now is the only thing alive. It really is. The only thing alive is right now. And depression is in there when you want to when regret of the past and fear of the future come. So I think we got to be very careful and give more attention to the now because it seems like we're so conditioned to give attention. We give more attention to the past or the future, but we never look at the now like we should. We're always trying to keep the past alive and approximate the future. And that's where a lot of confusion and depression and confusion is in all of that. Because,
So
you know,
So in actuality, right? Um, we hold on to all the turmoils on the outskirt of ourselves, right? Like, say, man, I'm at this job. It's a shitty job. I got to be there tomorrow, and you may have gone through an actual argument with either somebody, a client, or whatever, and you brought it into the present to make it something today when it's a reset. Like you went to sleep and you're fresh and brand new, but you still got the same old mentality. So your attitude remains the same. And I feel like the reason why, as far as the future goes, why most people actually hold on or aim for the future, even though they can't predict it because it's very unpredictable. I think where the depression and stress comes into play is the lack of not knowing, because that control that they normally have is not the same, because they can't write it in a book and it becomes what they wrote down, right?
Yeah, you know, I always say that the solution is always in the problem. And I say the same thing about the right here and now. That all solution, all peace is in the now. And pe- people always tell me, "Oh, that can't be true because right now I'm depressed." I said, "But the now has nothing to do with your regret of the past and your fear of the future. Love is always now. That's why love is always new. It's like the song, here and now, I promise to." Right now, I think women would like to hear their man say, "Right now, I'm in love with you. Right now, or baby, we're gonna do this or we're gonna do that." But right now is the peace. But we don't see peace now because we always in the past or in the future. It's very hard to see now when you're a busy person. And the society has it by design. They keep us busy so we can't see the beauty and the solution that's in now. You know,
What
and
what about those that actually see the beauty and the solution in the now, but still hold on to the past based on circumstances, like, say, in a relationship, say the person is not flowing the way they want the person to flow, so they pretty much amplify those conditions and, like, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, um why you're this and why you're that, not realizing that that person is somebody different today than they were yesterday. What do you say about that?
you know what? That's a great question because somebody out there probably needs to hear that answer because the the deep thing about the here and now, once you enter over and understand the now, there is no depression can live there. The, it eliminates fear and eliminates depression and hurt. See, that's the power of now. Once you see it, it's like it's like somebody telling you something. You have an action after that, and then you see it for yourself, and you have an action after that. The action when you see it for yourself is always complete. The action when you hear about it is not necessarily complete. It's like I could tell you, "Well, Jermaine, your girl is cheating on you. Your girl is cheating on you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You might be right. Blah blah blah." Then you go home one day and catch her in the act, and all of the suspicion goes all by itself. That's how the now works.
Would you
That's how
say
the
the
now
same
works.
now? Would you say that same now works like standing gazing at the sunlight and standing on the earth balancing out yourself, just gazing, looking without somebody showing you, just naturally flowing.
Yeah, it's like you and Shanae is watching the sun, being exposed. And then I walk up to you and Shanae and I'd be like, Shanae, what y'all doing? Oh, we just enjoying this sunlight right here. And I say, well, look, let me show y'all how to look at it. And then that manages your perception. That throws you off. That is totally wrong what I just did. But that's what society and religions and jobs and all that do. They they make you so preoccupied. They make you so busy to where you can't actually see the now. You can't, you know, just when you wake up and you in that rush hour and you going to work, whatever time you got to go to work, there's no meditation at all because everything you're doing is blocking it. But when you enter over and understand the present now, it it takes away all that busyness and you see things as they are. You know, it's a
Shanae,
very deep thing.
Yes.
stop hiding. It's not a Jermaine and Rich conversation alone. Kings and queens move in threes. What's up?
So I was actually sitting here thinking about what way I wanted to approach this topic. Um, it wasn't that I was hiding, I was in my mental with this. And
Mental
what can
Rolodeck.
what came to my thought is when we say here and now, what if you're presented with a situation where you're having a conversation with someone and you are in the now, right? But this person seems to aim to, well, I don't know what it is, Rich. Maybe you can help me out with it. So a person will say to you, I worked really hard in my life and this, I have A, B, C, and D to show for it. What do you have to show for what you worked for in your life? So when Rich says, or Jermaine, when you say the present, now, and future, for me, that would put me in a position to where I would start to question my now.
Why?
That's a good question. Why would I question my now when a person says, so what do you have to show for everything you worked hard for? But I am showing for it in the present, right? In the now.
Okay, I think I see where you're going. So, pretty much the person is in the past. They're not within the now. You're within the now. So therefore, that's why they're bringing up, what do you have to show at this immediate moment? And I take it they're speaking on materialistic, um, objects or whatever.
Of course.
Okay. So question. Let's put it this way. Let's put it this way, right? So that person has a bed, a television set, and everything they supposedly want, right?
Yes.
You have a brand new house, no furniture. You have blankets. Do you still sleep? Is it the furnitures that make you who you are? Or is it who you naturally is that makes you who you are? See, it's not so the person that's looking, it's more so the person that's aware, right?
Right.
So if a person is saying, hey, what do you have to show for whatever, it tells me, one, that person don't know you, and two, they don't know you, and three, they don't know you. so so for me, in many aspects, I don't have nothing to actually prove to an individual. I prove things to myself.
Mhm.
And there's a terminology we utilize, I guess, in society, that every dog has its day. So he may not see your worth now as far as materialistic things goes, but you have already seen it. And going forward, he may lose that and you may gain. So it's kind of abstract in a sense, like the way he's actually looking at it, because for some particular reason he has whatever he has, but he's standing there talking to you, so there's some form of insecurity within him, so there's still things that he's lacking.
Right, which would tie back to not living in the now, which would be why the person would even have that type of conversation.
Yeah, because the conversation shouldn't be about the material things, it should be about what are we doing at this particular moment.
Moving forward, exactly.
Rich, I just confused this out of myself, so the floor is yours.
It wasn't confusing, but go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, the spirit get on Jermaine and he just start talking in tongues.
The spirit moves on him.
And he'd be like, "What did I just say?" And then we'll run the video back, and he'd be like, "Wow, you hear what you just said?"
Dude.
Like, but Shanae said a very important thing about moving forward. The present now. People look at the present now as something standing still, but the present now is never static because
Right.
it has all solutions. The present now is always moving. The
Hmm.
present now is the most powerful existence because Jermaine just lost someone very close to him. And people say, well, how can I move on? And you want me just not to grieve? You want me to forget about that? Because people tell me in death, how can you want me to keep moving in the now? And that person just close to me just passed? That's how powerful the now. And anybody that's listening out there, young and old, and Shanae and Jermaine, just look at some of the most tragic things that happened to us. And the people out there, look at the most fascinating and great things that happened to you. It didn't stop the turning of the earth. And so that means the present now has solutions. What is that solution? The present now is telling you that nothing is ever as bad as it is, nor is good. Balance is something that keeps moving consistently and steady. It doesn't mean it's neglecting and not treating the people who pass righteously. There is no impatience in now. It's consistent movement. There's no impatience in it. There's no hurt or depression in it. It's the inner over and understanding of what is. And that means that all things blossom and wither away. That's just the way it works.
Right.
Nobody really actually dies, but we get we get caught up into a person, place, and thing, and actions and religions and jobs, and we try to own it, you know. And I've seen people at funerals who's just losing it, and I look at them and I say, are they crying for the person that passed, or are they crying for themselves?
Or is
You
it a
know,
tradition to just cry and act out?
it's hard to tell, but it's hard to tell.
I, I'm still a little bit swayed to that, because I've always heard the terminology "you should laugh at death and cry at birth."
Yeah, I've heard that too, but I'm big on not putting any methods and systems on real life because actual life is the present now because the past is dead. The
Right.
future, the future is not a fact. So what is actually going on? What's going on right now? Right now, the wind is blowing and the earth is turning. Now, that that doesn't nothing. You notice that nothing we go through. humanity has created incredible things, bombs and weapons and and science and but no matter what we do, it doesn't interfere with the turning of the earth in terms of the consistency, and earth is telling us that it's designed to go on with or without us. And so I see that we put too much importance on ourselves. We put too much identity and we neglect nature. Because if
So,
you really look at it,
no,
all the
continue.
solutions are there. I'm saying it, all the solutions is in the now because that is the only thing that doesn't lie to us and the only consistent thing that's going on in our lives.
All right, let's amplify this, Rich. I don't know if it's because my vibration is really not down, but it's actually in a it's in a place where I'm mellow right now. I'm a lot humble. So, and I'm looking at things in an awareness. So basically, us being us, and what I've really realized is like we complicate things, right? So if you complicate the action of the now, you fail to actually see the simplicity within the now. Correct?
Correct.
I agree.
It's very
So
simple.
if you don't see the simplicity within the now, you take the sunlight for granted. You take the changes in the leaves for granted. You walk past the trees, you throw trashes on the floor, and you don't understand or over understand how these things actually flow with your actual present because they're very pivotal to your continuation on this plane. Trees force oxygen or whatever way, carbon dioxide, whichever way you want to put it in scientific terminologies or whatever. The bees pollinates the withered trees away, then boom, out comes the leaves. The beauty, the sunrise gleaming off those leaves. The birds within those trees chirping, playing melodies. Everything is within a harmony. And we are not. We are rigid. We are mechanical because we're racing to go punch a clock. We're racing to do things we feel is more important than the sitting and appreciating and evaluating the connection with the individuals we have. And sometimes we fail to make things simple as coming together to eliminate a shallow or self-centered self to do something great for someone that's no
Right.
longer here
Right. That's
in
it.
the now.
Hmm.
Is we're fighting, and
Hmm.
there's a little code in what I'm saying, but y'all know who you are.
You know,
Gel
um,
flow, so y'all can pretty much lay a queen that gave y'all life and blew breath in you the actual send off that she deserved. And with that, I'm going to yield. Go ahead, Rich. You were about to say.
you said the key thing when you said self. You know, we put ourselves too much, we give ourselves too much credit. Now, I'm not talking against self confidence. I'm not talking about a person has to be aggressive and have good pride. I'm not talking against any hard work. I'm not talking against somebody that walks. I'm not saying somebody should not walk with confidence and believe in themselves. But this is what society conditions us to do. But when it comes to nature and the right now, we get in the way of that because the movement of that doesn't need our help. But we always in the ocean. We always putting concrete on the earth. We always in the air with chemtrails. We're always in somebody's head. We're always messing with the animals and tagging them. And see, this is part of the problem. And that all starts with someone feeling they're more important than what's going on actually in the earth.
Right.
And that is the now.
I've never seen a bird with lashes or a bear pants sagging at his ass. Never seen a moose drives a car. I've never seen a duck whistling. There's a lot I've never seen. But yet we feel like we're bigger and greater than these things, but we can't do or think or even phantom to accomplish half the things they actually accomplish. You know what
We
I would
never
give to be able to fly?
and just look at that. The giraffe doesn't have cancer, but by what you just said, Jermaine, everything on this planet is for all of us, including the animals and the mosquitoes. But we're the only ones that's not free, and we're supposed to be the smartest, but we're the only ones that's not enjoying a free earth.
Well, Rich, another reason that a lot of us are unable to live in the now is we keep repeating behavior patterns through tradition, through religion, through all types of
Yeah,
different things that continue to take us away from the now. Right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
each day, if you're presented with a situation and you deal with it how you're going to handle it today, not how your grandparents handled it or how someone else told you to handle it, but how you're going to handle it today with the resources that you have.
yeah. We can close the show now because Shanae was way ahead of me.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, good night. And you ain't gotta hear, but you gotta get the. Nah, let me stop. Go ahead.
Well, that is really piggybacking on where you just left off, Jermaine. I was listening to you, to everything you were saying, and you're absolutely right. At some point, people need to set aside whatever they think and know what you know today, right?
Absolutely. Like honestly, like I am like fading in and out this live because one part of me wants to sit here and be depressed about what's actually going on, and then the other part of me like, no, that's not you. Like later, say what you need to say before you go to sleep and let it flow. You know what I mean? The energy is still there and it's going around and it's coming back. Like, like that's how I'm looking at it. But I'm actually enjoying this because sitting in this chair is allowing me, and talking to you guys is allowing me to see things from a different perspective, looking at it as simple as I can. And one of the greatest thing is connections. Rich is here. You're here. Whosoever is watching, they're here. That's the connection. And that is very powerful.
Yeah, and Shanae answered why a big. Uh, Shanae answered the the big question of why people get caught up in the past and the future, and she nailed it. Tradition and religions and all of this stuff. You know, tradition is a dead thing. And if you don't agree, let's discuss it. But the people out there watching, the right now is always new. And Jermaine hit the nail on the head too, because if anybody's depressed out there, the best thing you can do is keep it moving. But people say I can't keep it moving. It's just too devastating. But the earth does not stop for you. It does not stop for anybody, no matter what they're going through. And people tell me, "What isn't God? I thought God was a merciful God. Shouldn't He grieve with us or whatever?" No, nature is showing you whether it's slow or fast. Keep it moving. Never do nothing because nothing means not a thing.
you're right, and it's funny. Like, I made a comment, actually, a post that says, and this goes both ways. Like, a queen has given life to a king, but that queen will still turn around and give her power to a deity. A king will provide food for his family and turn around and give thanks to something else. These things take you out of the now and put you in a traditional space. So instead of you looking at yourself, you throw that responsibility on someone else. And then people want to come out and say, oh, the ego is alive. That is not me. That is somebody else. So if the ego is alive and it's not you and it's somebody else, who is it? When you look in the mirror, what do you see?
No, they're right. It is somebody else. It's the traditions, the religions, yeah, them judging themselves. That's what they're seeing.
And take it beyond that. But the now will show you that you matter. You're what's worth it. What you do, how I communicate with my children as a father, the way I step, my mannerisms, allow my sons to mimic that, showing them not only am I a hard worker, showing them that I still know how to have fun, loving them. You know, gradually when I wither away, this avatar per se, they will take my place, right? And walk within the footstep per se of dad, but that would be them living within their nows.
For somebody that's watching who may be following this, I know on this platform sometimes a lot of people's not used to this type of exchange, but we want you to look at life deeply beyond the surface because that's where the solutions are. We talk about solutions here. We don't argue and fuss and fight and talk about who drop kicked who and who gonna stab who and we don't do the buffoonery. I mean, we playful, but the ones who's looking, and they may ask the question, what is the action of staying in the now? Okay, you talk about this now has all solutions, and this now has all answers beyond religion and traditions and all this stuff. So, you know, people ask, well, how do I stay in the now? It's not a matter of how. What is the action of being in the now? Whether we like it or not. See, our mind could be in the past or the future, but the actual living and moving of us is in the now. But what is the action of staying and flowing with the now? That action is walking without illusions, walking without selfish motives. When when you walk without selfish motives, it is the best way to walk, but maybe the hardest thing to do. And the trees will literally talk to you. And I don't talk this way; I live this way. The trees will talk, and the plants will talk. Anybody who loves gardens and plants, they will talk to them. I've
Hmm.
seen people talk to a a cherry tree that wasn't producing cherries, and the cherries came. But
Hmm.
how can you see this if I got to get to the job and I got to do this and I got to sign this contract and I'm so busy? You're so busy in this outside world that's always incomplete.
How many times do you see it though? You have some people, they use the terminology like, if I knew what I knew now, right? If I knew what I knew now then, or whatever, whichever way you want to put it. I know I'm butchering the actual terminology, but somebody's always regretting something. Someone always wishing they can go back and be at their child's football game, or see their daughter perform they first dance move with their class, or your child run up and down that soccer field, or your son walking for the first time, or the baby screaming daddy or mommy or whatever. Those are nows you can't get back, no matter how you rewind the past or think of it. Your brain is a is a computer that store things, and it also aids you to create as well. But I believe the best form of creation comes when we put little thought into it. And that's what being in the now represents for me. Like,
Yeah,
period. You know,
Yeah, I agree with that.
it's so deep. It's so deep. You when you really when you actually in the now, it's so deep that thought doesn't even exist.
but
Thought
look,
actually,
I'm sorry. But look, Rich, honestly, when you're in the now, right? Because you're in the now, isn't that the same reason why you can forget that you're breathing?
yes, but that's what I'm saying. And the now is beyond thought. Thought it was what takes you out of the now.
That's right.
Thought is what says, remember what happened yesterday? You're feeling too good. Something bad gonna happen.
That's right.
And then the now takes you back in. The now takes you back in and be like, oh wow, look at that butterfly. Look at that. Wow, this breeze, this is a great day. And then the thought comes in and try to tax you with the future. Yeah, but after this is all over, you still gotta pay the bills.
It's so funny you say that, Rich, because me, I'm a Cancer, so I'm
Oh,
very, very emotional. And when living in the now, right? So today, when I started my day, I was like, man, I'm just not feeling this. But as the day progressed, I put no thought into it and I was okay. So you're absolutely right. If you just live in the now, beyond thought, well, beyond, wait, how do you, I'm not saying that well. How do
Oh,
you put it,
that's right.
Rich?
Then that is meditation. And when you're in the now, you're living in a meditative state. That doesn't mean you're high or you're on cloud nine. That means you're seeing life as it is.
greeting,
Right.
Sean. Homage King. Rich, Sean has a question for your statement. He says, I guess being in the now to me represents full confidence to
Yes,
him.
yeah. That's not only to him. That is the truth. He's 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 saying the truth because if the now is beyond thought, which we just proved that, how c- how can you be discouraged? There's nothing but confidence there.
Mm, that's a good way to look at it.
So why do people take that same confidence and mix it up with being arrogant?
Because that's when the self-centeredness comes in. The ego. That's the ego.
What ego?
You mean that same illusion that don't exist that allow us to actually blame something that's not there versus taking accountability for our own shit? That ego?
Yeah, I'm saying like what we just explained earlier. It's like it's it's like what I think everybody should I think everybody should look at when being in the now and being confident and being that's that's order, that's peace, that's confidence, that is there in the now. But thought is a controller. So thought will say, well, you got to pay them bills when you get off this beach, and I'm going to show so and so and so and so when I get off this beach. See, thought does all that. See, thought interferes with the now because thought is a controller. So thought, whatever state you're in, and I want you guys to look at your own life. And when I say this, whatever state you're in, thought is going to try to control it, even when you're in a peaceful state. That's why when you're in a peaceful state in the now, you may be on vacation or by the sea or wherever. Everybody has a favorite place, and when you're in that favorite place, thought you go beyond thought because you're not worrying about anything. You're in your favorite place, but thought will try to control that. If your favorite place is on the balcony, um, drinking some nice tea, then thought will come in and be like, well, to tomorrow we don't know what's going to happen, or you don't want to make that same mistake you did before by relaxing too much, and things are feeling too good right now. You know something bad is going to happen, and thought is always seeking, trying to control. Thought is always thinking. Don't take my word. Just say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to change. Next month, I'm going on vacation. And thought immediately come in and be like, well, what you going to do about work? What you going to do about that bill? What you going to do about? Thought is a controller.
I'm gonna cat William and say fuck him, Bill. Nah, let me stop.
That's why they don't want us to know about herbs. See, marijuana is a natural herb. If you get natural marijuana, it will relax you. It even helps asthma. But that's why they have medical marijuana now. You never heard of medical tobacco.
Hey, but they're changing the DNA of the marijuana.
Exactly.
They're making the
Right.
THs too high, and
Mm-hmm.
they're it's messing with the balance of kings and queens. They're switching roles. The man is becoming more feminine, and the queen's becoming more masculine.
Or go to Jamaica and get the natural herb and see what
Oh,
happens.
damn! That it's man. You got problems sleeping? Drink some tea. You know, it's so natural. They pretty much smoke it with the gunk off of it. And I've actually heard someone spoke on weed a certain way. He said weed is not a tree that grows any in everywhere. You actually have to make love to it once you plant it, because if you have a negative vibration, it
Mhm.
won't grow.
It's true.
I've
You have
never
to.
heard someone mention that or talk that way about a plant before.
And remember we talked earlier about talking to plants and touching plants. That's why when we start our youth lives, I think every youth should learn how to plant and be in touch with nature at least some point of the day. Just like every
Yes.
adult have some quiet time during the day, because
Mm.
that is, we're not in touch with nature like we should be. Nature is the now. The now has all solutions because freedom is there. I can't is you know I can't be confident unless I'm free. And so free confidence and freedom is in the now. Inner peace is in the now. All those things occupy the same space.
Not
But I
like
can't I will never see the now if I'm being controlled by thought in the past and the future.
Right.
I feel like being an a hole right now in the now. Question: So all y'all smart,
Uh-oh.
to all y'all smart Alex and people that tend to say certain things don't flow within the now, and you look forward to the future and so on and such forth. And oh, you're not speaking proper. That doesn't work for me. Blah blah blah. How about y'all try holding your breath? Control that. Don't let it go, and come back and have this conversation with me.
Oh, they're not coming back.
Oh,
How long they hold their breath.
wow, really? Y'all can't even control that. Think about that for a second. But Sean said something. He made a statement again. He said, I was watching The Last Dance last week, and someone said the best part of MJ wasn't that he was a great player in the NBA, but he was present. As that was said, you see him smiling and goofing off in the walkaway, not caring who sees him dance and do his bop and stuff. Pretty much saying that whatever challenges or whatever he was doing, he enjoyed the moment and he flows with what's going on at this particular moment, not giving two shits about what people have to say, how they have to say it, when they have to say it. He will always be him. And another thing, like I heard Jay said one of the greatest things. He said, "Yo, I walk in every room myself and I walk out every room myself." That's someone that's flowing in the right now. How many of y'all can say that for yourself? Because you walk in one room, it's hi, I'm Carl. You walk in the next room, sir, yes, sir. You walk in the next room, I hate this shit. Then you walk in, you're home now. Like, I don't want to be bothered right now, okay? Job was da 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 da. The same way you walked in those rooms, why didn't you walk in your house like that? Greet your queen with love, respect, and compassion. Ask her how her day was doing. Eliminate the self centeredness. Play with your kids for 5 minutes and just enjoy that.
But look at what Sean just said, and look at what he said about Jordan, and a lot of the geniuses and the great ones have this same common denominator. And the now has the same thing. So what is Rich Lamar talking about? I'm saying that is the action of being undivided. The 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 now is undivided. That's why the now holds all solutions and cures depression, eliminates depression, because the now is always undivided. Our thoughts are always divided. We call ourselves individuals, but all of us was wearing masks and following the leader. Nobody is asking why. Nobody, I mean, so some people out there that's aware and doing it, but when you're undivided, when you're undivided, that is the action of inner peace. You have no choice but to be confident when you're undivided. I mean, holistically undivided. I mean, because a criminal can be undivided in being a criminal, but I'm talking about but a criminal is attached and corrupt. But when you're undivided holistically, that means you're not attached to anything. You keep it moving. You enter over and understand death and life, and all things blossom and wither away. You're rolling with the punches. You're there. And it's not neglecting death, or I gotta keep it moving. I'm in the now. That's not what I mean. It means that you are aware of when and when not to act.
Have you ever seen confidence that don't speak? Guys, Queen, can you answer that?
Confidence that doesn't speak, of course, it's an unspoken language. You can see a person and know that they're confident just by the energy that their aura.
And that
Definitely.
and that person is in the
In
now.
the now. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I want the people that's listening to really understand the now. And because I know, just like when I talk about it publicly, they'd be like, "Well, how do you do that?" You're so conditioned of how. Take the how out. When you're trying to learn something or looking at something, take out try and how. Look at the action, because how is going to lead you to another how. Try is going to lead you to another try. That's incomplete action.
Did you ever hear them ask themselves, "How did I forget to piss?"
Exactly.
Because in the now, you piss yourself. Let
Right.
me
And people
stop.
say, but no, Jermaine said it best. That people say, well, how could you live beyond thought? Your body actions are beyond thought. You don't think about it
Way
until the body
beyond
tells you
thought.
to do it.
Yes, way beyond thought.
You're not thinking about anything in the body until the body brings it up. Are you thinking about a headache until you get one?
Nope. All happening in the now. Are you thinking about sleep until you get sleepy? No.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. I just laid down and all I remember it was 6 o'clock the next day. I
Hmm.
can't describe it. We as energy have to stop grabbing onto things and utilizing them in a wrong way. I don't like using wrong or right. I'm gonna say unbalanced way, right? And we're gonna speak on energy right now. So, for example, you can meet someone or go to work and deal with someone and they're having a shitty ass day. You are up tempo, upbeat. And the simplest thing that person said to you, right? Your entire energy and trajectory change. Now you have that person's energy and they just walked off whistling with your joy. Are you in the now when that happened? No, because you took on somebody else's energy that had nothing to do with you. Look at what they were going through, why they came in with that energy, why they're pissed off.
Yeah,
But you
and
took that onto yourself, right? And you made it yours. Now you're going around pissed off. You don't even know why. And that's the thing when we pick up books, when we see things on TV, when we listen to the radio and so on and so on. We don't see that the most simplistic thing we can do is change the frequency within our vibration. If you feel like crap, find something that puts a smile on your face. Enjoy the beauty of something that you've never stopped to pay attention to. Be aware. The sun is shining, and you know the sun gives life because without it, there would be no life, right? But all you do is complain. Oh shit, it's hot. Now it starts to rain. I hate the rain. Now it's cold. Shit, it's cold as shit. I can't stand the cold. Everything has the meaning. Everything is flowing within their order, except for you. Like Rich said, you eat out of season, you think out of season. You even out of season. Everything you
True.
do is not in alignment with you, it's in alignment with somebody else. Are you really mad at me? Or are you mad because you took on somebody else's energy?
and if people see that the now has all solutions, I'm not saying that the now has a solution. I'm not saying that the now has some solutions. I'm saying that the now has all solutions in science and religion, in relationships, in careers, in thoughts, in dreams. The now has all solutions. Why? Because the now is the action of of existence that's undivided, holistically, meaning no attachments, no evil, no bad. Everything in the now is the movement of inner, is the movement of balance, is the movement of sustaining positive energy. So in that now, we're connected to that, but thought takes us out of that. When we let thought control us. Now thought has its place. Thought is a good thing because we need to remember. We need thought to recall. But when thought is out of place, we're dysfunctional. Whenever you're out of the now, you're dysfunctional. It's like doing something without being clear in doing it. If you're not clear, it's going to create conflict and it's just going to postpone collapse. That's why when thought is out of place, that's what dysfunction is. That's what dysfunction is. Thought out of place. It may be minute or it may be enormous. The extreme is depression and suicidal and murdering, and that's the extreme. You're totally out of the now. You're totally being controlled by something that that's that has that's incomplete.
Queen, how does your diet help
Yeah,
you to?
thought will always. Oh, go ahead.
Sheesh. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead. Thought will always.
No, the question.
No,
I'm gonna
thought
focus on the question.
thought will always. Because you just ran into the house like a kid. Like, mommy, mommy, mommy. I just did. Go ahead, finish.
Thought will always be unbalanced and out of place when it's founded in controlling a situation. That was what I was gonna say.
Doesn't it feel better?
When it's developed in control, when you're trying to when you are trying to control an environment rather than live in that moment, and you're pulling from the past, it's never gonna. You'll never be able to see the present moment in a controlling environment. Now, what's the question?
But no, no, no. But since she said that, she said a beautiful thing. You know, the worst thing a person can go through, one of the worst things is, like Shanae said, when you're trying to control somebody else, you know, and you trying to control it. Where you been? Well, you said you wasn't going to be there. Well, you was over there messing around with, a jealous person, an envious person, whether it's male or female, who's into somebody. That is that is start trying to control a relationship. That
But
when
wait,
you're jealous and envious, that's the worst thing you can go through and do.
but look at this, right? Are they upset that they're talking about themselves, knowing that if they were over there or wherever they had been or wherever they went, they would have did this, and that? Isn't it a reflection of their selves? Because oh shit, oh he went down the hallway. Oh Susie's down the hallway. If I was him, I would kind of Susie.
Right,
They're trying
right,
to
right.
control the individual based on things that they would do, but not everybody has that.
Yeah, that's
That
what I mean. That's what I'm saying about the dysfunction. See, when thought is out of place, it creates illusions
like ego.
like ego. What's worse than ego is when a man is trying to control a woman and a woman is trying to control a man. Oh, you didn't show up because you was with so and so. You can't do everything you was doing. You was cheating.
Yo, I just looked and liked the picture. You cheated because you looked and liked the picture. But wait, it might be her diet or his diet that have him programmed to the frequency that he's programmed. He's uncomfortable because he done ate some shit. Not literal, but diet has a lot to do with it. And Sean just brought that forth. And it's true.
Diet. That's why the people who created hybrids created the word diet because you die if you eat it. What you put in your mouth is the same thing you put in your brain.
And you turn diet around and you spell it. What does this? You turn diet around and you spell it. What do you get?
You, it's
Tired,
always
right?
Tired or tied?
it's bondage. It's always bondage.
Tied.
Okay. Yeah. This pork gonna be
See, they
tied to
they
your
know
artery and clog it up.
they
You
know it.
can't
Look,
breathe.
they know what they're doing. It's all codes. It's all codes. If you eat whatever you put in your mouth is you put in your brain, and where the brain is, the body follows. And it's simple, but people don't think it's that simple. But
Because they complicate it.
What Shanae said about the thought. See, that's why a lot of people can't get along in relationships because it's always the people that can't get along in relationships. It's always one person whose thought is creating illusions, and
I,
the present now has no illusions.
oh man, you ever heard a female say, "Hey man, I bet when you was in me, you was thinking about that chick, huh?"
That's why what do they tell people when you catch somebody cheating and you get back? Okay, and then if they're late and don't show up, you're gonna always think they're cheating somewhere, right?
So what's the point of being in that circumstance or
It's you gotta
situation?
be a you gotta be a very strong person to forgive and forget.
So let's speak on that.
Very true.
Let's speak on that, right? Because there was a minor discussion that was happening in the group or whatever, right? So I think it had something to do with ego, but there's something I wanted to say. It was based on the description, the way Queen actually made um her statement or opinion or whatever. And the crazy thing about it is people tend to say you have to forgive, right? But not forget. And I'm confused. I'm very conflicted.
Yeah.
If you don't forget, how the fuck is it forgiveness?
It's not. The thing is, when you don't forget, it goes to like the psychology of things. It triggers, right? Isn't that the word we want to use? A trigger. So if you don't forget and you're revisited with this trigger, it brings back all of those memories,
Pass.
and you're never going to be in the present moment to get past it,
Now.
to move forward, right? And be in the now. Exactly. So, no, there is a point you do need to forgive and forget it. If you don't forget, you're not forgiving. I mean, be aware, and being aware means being in the present moment. But being aware doesn't mean, oh, I don't forget. No, forget that stuff and move forward.
So Sean said I worked at a nursing home and I work the morning shift. So there's a lot of high vibes in the unit. All different sorts of personalities. I have to sometimes condition myself to only accept the energies that will help me get through my shift and brings me back home in the same mentality that I left my home with. I have to quickly pick apart the situation and identify what was fit to hurdle around my orbit.
Okay.
He just left you speechless, huh? That's like when the Queens threw their penny on the stage for Luther. Rich, here and now.
Rich.
I didn't know.
He's been
No, but
here and
what Sean displayed was, no, Sean actually displayed being in the now. Whenever he walked into his place of work, his ability to be in the now allowed him to choose and not choose what he would or wouldn't deal with, so he could make it through his day in a higher vibration and go home in a high vibration. So that's living in the present moment.
he also said, I feel like you can be aware of their compatibility of their wrongdoing or capability of their wrongdoing. Am I announcing this correctly?
Capability of their
Yeah, so you can feel they're present. You can feel whatever they're they're emitting from themselves.
he, yes, he's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where did I get
I
confused?
understand that.
See,
But when people say
There's been
forgive,
plenty of times I walked.
you walked where?
No, go ahead, Rich.
There's been plenty of times I walked.
you walk where? Answer the question.
All right. There's been plenty of times I when he okay, this is going back to Sean. When Sean was saying you can pick up on you can walk in and you can kind of have an overview of the workplace without even having the conversation with people, and you know where they are by their aura. There's been plenty of times I've walked in and seen my manager and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not dealing with her today. And stay completely out her office and haven't had one word with her.
Yeah, but
So
I
again, that's living in the present moment. Oh, go ahead, Rich.
no. I mean, You can finish your point because it's a good point. You said you were,
Oh, so
you know,
another point I was just finishing is that's part of living in the moment.
yeah, but don't forget that when you're in the present now, you're in a state of awareness. That means when Sean walks into the ward or the floor or the nursing home or wherever he works,
The unit.
even he's in a unit, he's aware. When you're in the now, you're aware of when and when not to, and where and why. You see it. The person you're looking at might you see the person more than the person see themselves. That's what being in the now. That's the awareness of what being in the now is, because the awareness of the present now is undivided. So you're not swayed away with somebody. There's no fear there. This it's the freedom of looking. It's the direct perception is there. And so when you have this direct perception in the now, you see things as they are. You see the solution of the person more than the person. You see the problem of the person more than the person sees the problem.
How
It's like a great trainer looking at a boxer. He's seeing everything he's doing wrong, but it's hard for the boxer to see it, even if it's a good boxer, because he's in the fight. But the
can't see the
good
back of
corner
your head?
man is right. You can't see the back of your head, but it's just like that's why society keeps us busy. If you're busy, it's hard for you to see what's actually going on. It's like being in a whirlpool. That's why we divide it. We divide. We're not the same person at work than we are at home. Some people are. The people that walk in the now are, but we're not the same person on the interview as we are on a job.
Oh, oh no. I put on my Caucasian voice. It's a pleasure, Mr. Rich.
What do we call it? What do we call it? Something in the hood where we know uh, Tanika and Trinika, they're a whole different voice in the interview.
Like, hi, my name is Jermaine Johnson. It's a pleasure to meet you. How are you doing today? Greetings, Queen, Mrs.
Gre-
Pichet.
Hey,
Greetings, greetings. What's
hey,
going on? Kings and queens.
Greetings.
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 Look, I heard you guys talking about putting on the air for the interview process and your job.
oh
Yes,
yeah,
I.
we used to mess with them in the hood like that. You'd be like, oh, when you're on that job, I said, it's like I've seen two people argue and they be like, yeah, but when you're on that, you know how to talk to me. You know how to talk during that interview.
That represent
The many faces of many different people.
That is funny.
Danielle should come. Danielle should come on. I would love to hear her perspective.
Um, let me
Sean
see. Okay, let me go.
Sean
I'll be right
said
back.
it took him a long time to learn that, to actually flow within the now and control his energy and what he takes on, pretty much.
No weak no weak person can do it, but like Sean, well, you look at Sean though, he's a great artist. Any great artist can be in the now, is in the now whether they know it or not. Especially when they create a masterpiece.
And what's crazy is that I remember I asked him, like, what advice would he give to a child growing up? And he said, don't even think about it. Just go ahead and just do it, right? Just do it. And doing is in the now.
Yes, yes, I applaud that. And what you just said, Jermaine, doing. See, people overlook that there's no learning without doing.
hmm
It's some of the greatest scientists out there that never been to science school. It's some of the greatest architects that never went to school because it's something that's called on the job training.
I can
But this is how they separate us from being in society. Be like, oh, you need the training. And all you got to do is give me. You need. I mean, they say, well, you need to pass the test. You need to have a doctor's degree or 2 degrees to do this. You on a job training, you can do anything.
peep this. Like, I drive trucks, I drive tractor trailers, whatever. It doesn't matter the size, 53, 48, 32, 36, 28, so on, box truck, whatever. So I had this one team captain, and it was a new job, so it was a particular route that we were running. So he wanted to train me. You know, a lot of truck drivers are unaware. Like, if you haven't drove a manual in a while, you're gonna have to get it back. So um, like, this man would come in and he would teach me. But one thing I never forgot that he stated, which was true, and I know this, he said, I can sit here and tell you what you're doing incorrectly, how you're doing it incorrectly, or whatever. But he said you will never become a great driver until you get FaceTime behind the wheel by yourself, nobody within your ears talking to you. And it was 100% true. So I would flow naturally, fresh out of school, better by myself with nobody in my ear. If somebody's in my ear, I'm like, oh, shit, like, damn, son, just grinded the gear, you know,
Right.
and whatever. Like, yo, double clutch. Like, when I was in school, dudes like, yo, double clutch. I messed around and float the gear and found a different way to do it. He's like, God damn it, if you do that again, I'm gonna pull the truck over. Shit got good to me. Like Richard Price said, I did it again. He's like, damn it, I just said don't do it again. Go down, gas it, whatever, and did it again. He had a brake on his side. He just pulled the brake down. The truck just stopped. He's like, didn't I tell you not to do that? Don't float the gears. I just looked at him and smiled. Like, how you gonna tell me what not to do when I just discovered something that will help me flow better as a driver
Mhm.
and actually
Yes.
not mess up the truck? Because grinding a gear out of the wrong order can mess up your gearbox.
Mhm.
But he
Mhm.
wants me to follow his program.
Now, 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 Jermaine, you see why I don't use the word how and try, because that just leads you to more how and try. It leaves you dependent on who you asking how. See,
Mhm.
what I do is just remind people what they forgot, because all day long I can watch the trees and walk around and do what I do. But the average person is too busy to do that. So what I'm saying is, when I talk to psychiatrists, I say, what is learning? Well, it's the process of education. No, learning is doing. And when we start our youth platform, Jermaine, I'm going to tell the youth, if you want to be good at something, just do it a lot.
But peep this. Isn't that the same thing they do to you when look how backwards and how unsynchronized these people are, right? So they tell you, okay, you graduate high school, go to college, get a degree, right? Then you get the degree, and the degree costs 100,000. Then you go for the job, they tell you don't qualify because you don't have enough experience. What is experience? Flowing in the now, right? So now you're out of the box because you thought something you went to school for you'd be able to utilize, but you don't have the experience. How do you gain the experience?
But check this out, man. This is really deep sea diving. Jermaine always bring up something to take something deeper, because you said the key word. See, in the now is not necessarily experience. It is experiencing. Experience is something that's in the past, but when you're experiencing, you're flowing. You're flowing, and the that is learning. Experience is something you had learned. But see, that's why nobody knows everything. Nobody, nobody, the future is not a fact. That's why the present now, you're experiencing, You're letting nature tell you what is. I mean, man in science and education has its place, but it's always limited. It's always incomplete. That's why the cell phone is great, but you always have to upgrade it. But the complete action is when you're flowing with life. Is you're not looking at mistakes. It's like the woman who had a bad experience with a man and felt that she wasted her time, or a man who felt like he wasted his time with a woman. No, you didn't waste your time. You wasn't stupid. You were learning. I always ask them, what did you learn? Don't concentrate on I made a mistake. Ask yourself, what did I learn? And if it keeps happening, you learned nothing.
Wait, don't they get mad though when they actually taught somebody for somebody else? I took all that information and went over to that biatch and now I upgrade this chick and now she with this other dude doing everything I taught him on the other. Like maybe that person was in your life for that lesson. Stay within the now and enjoy that lesson. Flow with the momentum because, like Rich like to say, if you don't flow with the momentum, you lose it.
Mm-hmm.
It creates misery. Hey, Queen, Miss Boucher, Mrs.
Yes.
Shea Butter Souffle.
Did you do it like that, man? Did you do it like that? What's up, man?
Take poetry and take your music, for instance. Doesn't poetry and music flow better when you have that one verse that just came straight out of the air versus that one you actually written down?
Oh, no doubt. And just to kind of piggyback off of what you guys were just saying, I remember I was a part of this poetry quote unquote ministry at the time. It's been several years ago, at least I think like at least 10. And we used to have sessions where we would rehearse and practice. But the guy that started the group would come out with a topic, and he wanted us to sit there and write something right then. But I don't write like that, not knocking anybody who does, because some people could just write off the top of the dome. That's just how they do it. But I'm not. That's not how I'm cut. My mind kind of plays around with it, and it kind of stirs in my spirit a little bit, and then it'll come to me. But I can't write off just off sight. I actually have to put it together. That's just how I am, how I, interpret the title. It has to work through me. And when it comes out, it's going to be a beast when it come out, but it's a process for me. So I don't just pick up a pen and just write something, like when everybody's like, what you got? What you got? Just like the supervisor was sitting in the truck with you, Jermaine, and, trying to get you to do it a certain type of way. That's how this brother was trying to orchestrate it. I was like, well, if that's the case, won't you just write our parts and let us say what you want us to say? You understand what I'm saying? So, because if you want Sister Shay to show up, then let Sister Shay do the process the way that I need to do the process. So off top, yes, it's much better when I know that it's freely coming from me, it's not forced. It's just the way the Most High gave it to me. My ancestors, whoever's involved at that time for that piece, whoever's showing up and wants me to speak at that time, I have to allow that process for to show up and and stir in my spirit before it comes out. So but when it does, I know, and that's not speaking like arrogant or nothing like that. I know once I get to that platform and I get to that microphone, I know it's something. I'm not, pussyfooting around it. It's just not no da 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 da. Sound like these other poets. I don't. I'm a poet for the people. I'm not a poet for other poets. Just go ahead and put that out there. So when I do it, when I step to the mic, I know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that it's coming from every single molecular entity in my body, all the way down to my pinky toenail. And it's gonna be a beast when I get there.
Hey, she don't even know what she just did. Hold that thought for a second. Greetings,
Okay.
Queen. Hey, D Love. So, Miss Pushay,
Yes, sir.
can we hear your latest work, please? Give us a little taste.
Bruh.
Yeah, you just brought the energy. Your energy
Yes,
you're
you
giving off
did.
right now. I need
Yeah,
it.
we
Come
want
on,
to
let's
hear
go.
it.
They want to hear it. The pink
Hmm.
I don't
from
have anything. See,
from down to the pinky toe to the fingertips
Right,
and the
right. Come
vibration
back
in
up to
your
that
your
crown.
your essence. Give me a classic.
okay,
Hmm.
a classic. Oh
Yes,
man.
yes. Everybody within this platform has something to contribute that is pretty dope. Now, please, please, let's go.
Well,
They gonna learn about you today. Go ahead.
no. Okay. Well, I can tell you this. I'm working on a piece. I can tell you this. I'm working on a piece, right? And like you said, you get like this one line, and you just like, ooh, when it hit, it's gonna be the bomb. So I could give y'all the first line. That's all I'm giving y'all, because that's
Uh-uh.
all. That's everything else is just flowing. But this is the first line I got so far. I rip mics like long toenails rip sheets, and I'm a spiritual beast when the creator allows me to speak. I'm not the peak. I'm not at the peak of my game, but I'm gonna go from right there.
Ooh, came with that fire.
So when she speak it, she release flames. What? Let me stop. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
She bring it the flame and then she ooze and crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, let me stop.
And I don't know why it came to me, but I thought it was a hot line. I rip mics like long toenails rip
Oh
sheets.
yeah, that was
That's
dope.
pretty.
You know
Yeah,
what? You know what? You're rich, rich. She down
Thank you,
out.
Queen. Thank you, Queen.
Rich. She's on that. She's down our alley when she talking about toenails ripping sheets because we know what make toenails rip sheets.
Oh Lord, I can't even handle him.
I know. This all day, all
I
day. Come
cannot.
on,
Oh,
man.
oh man, we
And
know what.
poor Rich over there on hush mouth, like
Oh
I ain't
nah,
touching that.
he more he super fly.
Right.
Nah, I'm just, you know, Shay know. Look, I know Sister Shay, y'all. She know better. She just gave us a little bit, take it away, because she know we had to do the what. We might make her do what again because we
No,
got
no,
a
no,
new
no, we
audience.
not. No, we not.
We might,
No, we not. They
yeah.
just gotta go back to the mental Rolodex feed and just catch that one. It's in there. It's in there, y'all. It's in there.
It's still out
Oh,
there.
oh man. Oh
It's still
man.
out there.
And this is what we do. We actually have fun and we touch on sincere vibrations and we teach and we learn. We're open. You know,
Mhm.
your cup can't be full and expect things to flow in it. You have to be simple and have something that's half empty. So therefore you can get more.
Yeah, I mean, because at the same time, just like you said, it can't be completely full because we constantly gotta pour into somebody else's life too. So,
Absolutely.
as we pour off into somebody else's life, with our experiences, things that we've learned, that we're continuing to learn, that allows us to pour off the top, halfway pour it out so we can receive some more. So, a lot of the things that we go through and have going on is not just for us, but is also to give to somebody else, to empower somebody else who may need it. Our experiences help other people. People go through stuff and their mom can't tell them, their dad can't tell them, their aunt, their auntie, but somebody else that has traveled that same road can pour into that person's life and them receive it, and their parents say, man, I've been trying to tell this person this, and then, they not listening, my daughter, but because you came and you told but you said the same thing I said. But like I said, a lot of our journey is not just for us, but it's for us to pour into somebody else's lives, and therefore we can receive too. So when we pour off, somebody else can deposit into our cup as well. So it's ever flowing.
It has to do with frequency. If you're not on that dial or that station, you can't pick up on that frequency. Some
Yeah.
people are still blind to that because they're stuck. They haven't discovered their self yet. You know,
Yeah. That's it.
We always look, you know, if you there's a lot of seeking going on out there, and I tell people once you see you, seeking stops. I mean, it's just like you question everything, but that doesn't mean literally question everything. You wind up in a loony bin. And that doesn't mean seeking doesn't stop when you find you, because people seek things in careers and little projects that they have or that. But ultimately, when you find you, you find ultimately what you needed to find. Because when you're really comfortable with yourself, you're clear.
Mm.
And we always doing things outside ourselves, knowing what we're not clear about it. And then when it blows up in our face, we never see that was the cause.
Mm-hmm.
When you're here and now, you're comfortable with you. You can't walk in the now if you're not comfortable with you. Because the now is undivided. But people
Like
can act like they're confident and not really be confident.
I call
So the clarity.
I call it I call it four walls. Because the greatest ass whipping you ever get in your lifetime is within your four walls. When those
Hmm.
lights is off and those cameras is not around you, or there's nobody there with you, you get the ass beating of your lifetime. Because the real you, right, wasn't created, and you're stifling it. So this so-called ego that you created as a shield, supposedly be a, what is it, a defensive mechanism, it's fighting for the real you as well. It wants to replace you, and it can't replace you, right? So until you stand in your now and love you and flow within you and know that everything that's within you is what you bring out and not what's outside of you bring in, you will never quail that part of you.
Hmm.
But there's only one you.
Yeah, and that's all you need. You know, when you be you, you free you. You don't free you in the cars. There's no freedom in houses and degrees and flexing. I mean, there's a false sense of power there. But like you say, Jermaine, the ones who's flexing and getting a false sense of power all day, and people think they're great, they go home and they get beat up.
They're miserable, man. You find them in a hotel somewhere, hung from a tie or a piece of drape. Especially the wealthiest individuals tend to do that a lot. Why is that?
Because they're hiding behind a facade of fake sin. This is why a lot of white people, they love the cars and the houses, because their true nature is hidden. The all
Rich,
white. Can you hear me?
Rich, I'm gonna fight you if you don't start using the right terminology.
Uh-oh.
A lot of Caucasian people,
Oh, you want to refer to them as Caucasians?
yes, they're not white. A
Yeah.
free white person has nothing to do with a Caucasian.
Ooh, boy, you better speak right there. I know
And
what you talking about, but I'm in the background. I'm in the background. Never mind.
A free white person is you, skin
That's
tone
right.
of copper. And we can sit here and talk about multiple races beyond that, but Caucasians are not the same thing. So stop giving away your power.
so, well, technically, they're not white people because they're not really white. So they're actually pinkish.
If you want to
So
play,
I can't. I cannot right now. I can't. I cannot.
if you
I
want to,
can't.
if you want to play the crayon game, we can do that. But
but
wow, sure.
you know,
Wow, Daniel said they're what? They're leper. What? What? How do you say that? Lepers. Did I say it right the
Yeah.
first time?
Uh-huh. The lepers. The lepers.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay.
well, I'll say it like this. The point I'm trying to make is those Europeans, or the
No,
people out there. Well,
European is Africa too. So no.
Okay, well, I'll say it like this: the people.
Pilgrims. They're
I say
pilgrims.
There you go.
the only way I can make this point now is just to say that the word is never the thing. So but those of you who know what
Hey,
I
that's a
know what
that's a poem right there. The word is never the thing. That's a piece right there.
And the
Might
thing
need to
is
write
never the
about that.
word. The word is never the thing, and the thing is never the word. Says the
Hey,
birds chirp and flow within the. Nah, let me stop. Go ahead.
hey, what? You better spit them lyrics.
Go ahead, Rich.
well, yeah, it's like the people out there know who I'm talking about.
Oh, Rich is funny right
So
now.
it's like all the
Rich has left the building.
I had to leave and come back.
Yeah, Sean, I watched it.
Oh man.
This is the first time I ever hear he's discombobulated. What's going on?
Because I'm just y'all bombard me, so I was like, okay, I'll rope a dope right now.
He put that one finger up in
Whoa.
church, when you got to go to the restroom,
Whoa.
and you put that one
Hey,
finger
look,
up.
I just learned something new too. So, Daniel said a corpus is dead. Caucasian. But okay.
Caucasian.
Yeah, but she need to yeah, she's gonna be on the Queen's Corner tomorrow, right? Or
We'll
Sunday.
Yeah,
see.
all of
Tomorrow's
y'all queens got to show up at the
Tomorrow,
Queen's Corner.
Sunday.
okay.
She asked her, I don't know, Miss Danielle, are you going to come in or are you going to be in the comments?
Well, she's got to comment back.
She's coming. She's gonna be with us. I have faith.
Now you losing it wrong. Now you talking outside.
Mankind, a kind of man.
I have faith, Rich.
Believe, just gotta believe.
Okay, what happened to Brother Rich?
Hey, okay, I'll say it like this: all the white, Caucasian, pinkish, European Vikings out there, you know who you are.
We're gonna get Rich a Black Law dictionary for his birthday.
Yeah. This is why y'all know I don't like
Wait,
words.
Brother
But
Rich, he doesn't have a black law. He has a black law dictionary.
No, he's holistic. He gets
I
his words from the
don't.
universe.
Yeah, I get them from the universe
Well,
under
Sincerely
that
speaking.
under the maypop tree.
I'm sure some of the words in the black law dictionary um, originated in the universe as well.
I hate words because people controlled by words. That's why I can't finish my point.
I'm sorry.
Right, Miss Pichet?
I'm saying, God dog, man. Come on, man.
People controlled by words.
I'm
Nature.
sure. Yeah.
What?
Oh my God.
What language is nature? Does nature speaking words? No, it
speaks in
shows us that
action.
when. Right. So we know it's gonna rain when we feel the air and see the clouds.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
oh, you don't know what's going on now after you punched me in the neck.
Jermaine, you might want to invite him back to the, because you did kind of, I don't know. Maybe I should be quiet.
Can I let Rich speak? Can you let him gather his thought? Because
Don't be trying to tell me let me speak now.
The first one he had, he missed it, so he's trying to pull for air to get it back a little bit and say it in a different way.
I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say them people out there, they hide behind their wealth. Them people, them Vikings, Caucasians, white, European, Tommy Joe Sue. Now all of those people not bad. It's just seems like the bad ones are running things. So I'm just saying that's why they love the glitter and the gold. They hide their wretchedness behind it. It's a facade. And we learn and we do a bad mistake by trying to hide behind trying to flex our our cars and houses and all of that, and it takes us away from the now and who we are. That takes you away from you getting caught up in these material things. That's why I brought it up. That's how they condition us. We're so comfortable with our cell phones and stuff. We forget about revolution. We forget
Mm.
about who we are. You can lose yourself in a new outfit.
Yes, indeed.
The gems in between the lines in between the lines within this line is ridiculous, man. Wait,
But we concentrate on that.
wait. So we get
Mhm.
lost into somebody else's program that doesn't belong to you.
Yeah, we get lost
Yeah.
in the glitter and
Hmm.
the gold. I mean, look, I'm in Vegas, and Vegas is has this beautiful strip of these buildings and all the wealthy, and you meet people from all over the world. But all that is out to get your money. That's all that's for.
So
Yeah.
what happened when the sun comes up? Does it still look the same as in the nighttime?
Oh man, there's two different
In another
cities.
part of the world, yeah.
Is it's a beautiful strip, but the city was built on taking people's souls and money.
Mm.
It
But
doesn't even have its own identity either.
no, it has no culture. It just but you forget about that when you jackpot mentality.
Hey,
Mm.
Sar, nice clothes and garments and expensive shoes is good, but the shoes is not wearing you. You're the one that's wearing it.
Yeah, son, X time, where was he at? Hour ago.
Okay.
What's up, sir? Yeah, he's trying to come in and comment.
But Miss Daniel Goodman would be joining the show tomorrow with all you queens speaking. The one that
Awesome.
And
Rich
yeah,
is hosting.
oh, that's right. I'm gonna get it. Y'all got to show up too, or you're fired.
Absolutely.
Y'all fired. Whoever don't show up ain't getting paid.
Say, bruh.
Okay. This isn't okay. Okay. What
Rich,
did you do? What did you do to that water sign? You know how water signs are.
Rich, Rich, the here and now, the present versus the future. The present is the beauty within the action of here, now, the present. The future is uncertainty, right? So you're afraid of it. You're so much afraid of something that you can't control, and you have no no thought on what's going to happen tomorrow whatsoever. That's why you bitch about the present and you complain about it versus seeing the beauty within it. But in order for you to be aligned within everything that's going on right now, you have to realize that everything starts inward within you. And we all need to look at things without judging it. We all need to just enjoy what it is. The smile from the baby, the ants walking on the floor, scouring for food, the squirrel moving, the birds chirping, the different colors, the fragrance of the air, the sun shining. Instead of complaining about the heat, understand that it's there for your greater health and it's benefiting you. Be grateful, show gratitude for all that's around you versus complaining about it. If you complain, take away from you. And with that being said, Rich, take
I
us
had to put
away.
music.
Take that
I had to,
away.
I had to put music to that, bro.
Oh
Listen, bro.
no.
Here and now, I promise to love faithfully. You're all I need. Here and now, I gotta sing it now because I haven't seen it. That's what it's about.
That dude right
I can
there,
sing it
man.
better. You sing it better than I can say it,
A
Mister
Scorpio
Mister
at its
Blank.
finest.
Scorpio. She keep calling. See, Jermaine got people calling me Scorpios. Jermaine, I know you're still on there. He laughing. He laughing.
I have
So
nothing to do
you
with this,
started
King.
this. No, you don't say you ain't got nothing to do with it because
Hey, man, I'm a
see, y'all don't
Scorpio
know
too,
Jermaine.
man.
No,
I'm a Scorpio
Jermaine.
too,
Nah.
man.
Jermaine is
We brothers.
Jermaine is one dude that talk black and date white.
What? Oh my God. Did he just do that? Rich, bruh. I
you're,
cannot.
That's why he on me when I said white. Because
you're,
deep down inside, he said, "Stop talking about my woman."
you're absolutely right. I do date white. I date myself. I am white. That is my
See, you
stats.
white. You white.
That's who I'm a representation of. We're all white.
Yeah, we
Why?
all white.
Yes, we're original, aboriginals. We're original men. We use the terminology human. We're not human. We have no forms of human DNA within us, animal DNA within us. We are
That's a whole nother.
aboriginal and powerful to hear. We're vibrational beings.
Well, that's another live right there.
Oh, now it's another live. You thought you'd
It's
had me
another
with that
live.
one, right?
That's another lie. Because when I go in on that one, when I go in on
I'm
that one,
gonna go out and come back in. I can't hear Rich. I'll be back.
oh,
Oh
you can't hear me.
man.
See, he cut me off. So
Oh man.
when I go in on that one, that's gonna be a whole another hour right there.
You
Well,
know what?
ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to correspond with our live in our group, please send me your friend request at King Jermaine on Facebook. Like and subscribe on YouTube at MEN-talRollaDeK. Like and
So
add
wait.
on IG at MEN-talRollaDeK. On Twitter, add me
Twitter,
at
Twitter,
MEN-talRollaDeK. And we're
Twitter.
doing
Man.
things a little different right now, but we're gonna ask them to do a summary before they go.
Yeah, they should.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, good. So we're gonna let you Queen summarize before I summarize.
My summary is gonna be very short because I came in on the tail end of everything. Um, but my takeaway with what I did get for this evening was, just really mastering self, being being able to know what frequency we're on, and not look at it as a deficit or in a negative. Being able to be transparent when half empty, half full, whichever way you want to look at it, and look at it, us depositing into other people's lives and being able to receive as well. Just constantly being students and learning. And not only that, but just as we're students and learning, we continue to be teachers as well as we're you know, hiking our journey. We also need to be depositing that frequency and energy to each other as well. So that's my takeaway. Okay, y'all
I
can
don't
say
think.
something.
I don't think.
Shanae,
I can't hear
Shanae can.
anything.
Why
I
Shanae
can
can't hear
hear
anything?
you, but I can't hear anybody else.
Well, we can hear you, Shanae. Here's your summary.
hold on, honey dip.
Honey dip. Where that word come from?
Yeah, we got two beautiful honey dips on the live. Queens within their resonance.
Yeah.
Honey dip queens. Honey dip queens.
Smile is worth $1,000,000. Shanae, can you hear us now?
No, I can hear you. No one else.
Okay, Shanae, go ahead and give us a summary pertaining to everything that we have spoken about and your conclusion.
Okay, so my summary of everything we spoke about um, the present moment. So again, I want to agree with both you, Rich, and Mrs. Prochet that the present moment is what really matters, and when you are able to let go of those thoughts, or some people call it thought forms in your mind, you're able to be confident in the present moment and flow. That's my closing remarks.
And the host of the show, Mr. Rich Lamar, close it.
I wish I could hear Rich. I guess I'll need to watch it later.
I just got a phone call. So, um, the person asked me, "Is that true? Jermaine date white girls?" So no, anybody out there, anybody out there listening, we get playful on this platform. We don't. We tell the truth, but when we playful, we lying.
Do not take him serious.
Do not take me seriously.
And we love all
No,
people.
yeah, we're not talking about anybody. We don't attack religion. We playful. We get playful. We just want you to look deeply. That's all. Like just this topic that Jermaine had is a very deep topic because I always say that the now is has all solutions, and if you can really see the now, you can see the solutions
Mhm.
because the now is undivided. No matter what happens in our life, some of us has went through devastating things, but it didn't stop the earth from turning. It didn't stop the now. The now is always moving, and all of us has been through great things, great joy, and great devastation, and it didn't stop the earth. All the joy that we had, not enjoy. I don't use enjoy because joy doesn't end in the present now. But the joy and the despair, it doesn't stop the earth. So once we enter over and understand the present now, we'll see that the awareness in there that we can flow. We know when we can see when and when not to. We are aware of when to grieve and when not to, when to go forward and when not to, when to stop and when not to. That's what the present now does. It's undivided, complete action. The thought that takes us out of the now is dysfunction. Because thought takes us out of the now because thought is either in the past or trying to approximate the future. So I'm saying our lives are so busy, it's hard for us to see the now. But that's why I say every adult should have some quiet time, some time to meditate and or pray, whatever you do. I'm holistic, so whatever you do, if you pray, if you go to the beach, have some quiet time to yourself because the solutions of the present now is in that. If you're a painter, if you're a poet, if you're a musician, if you whatever you love to do, your element, the now is there giving you solutions. The you is there. That's why I say try to take some time out of every day to be in your element, whether it's 5 or 15 minutes, but do it because that will get you through something. Because everybody goes through something that nobody can tell them, talk them out of it, and nobody can give them anything to. Like if somebody, Jermaine just had somebody close to him pass away. You can't buy him a car to make him forget about that. You can't give him something material. It's some things we go through that nothing that you say or do can bring that person out of it. But their element, them being in that meditative state of the now, is the most soothing solution there is. It's hard to see, but just take some quiet time out of a day and you'll see it.
Okay. And there's nothing more to add. For those of you that would like to stick around because something
Stick
new we're
around.
about to add to the show is called Q&A. So
What?
we're going to start doing these special little things where we take time out and ask questions and answers. Yes, Rich, we have Q&A. We're
Q and
gonna
A.
come back. We're gonna come back for Q&A. So, queens, kings out there, if you have any question pertaining to the here and now, the present versus the future, keep that in mind and don't be afraid to actually ask questions. We're coming back for that. We're doing 25 minutes of that. See y'all in a little bit.
All right.